guys, it's Sarah, and today we're going to talk about all the books that I read in the month of November. November was interesting. It was a very, very, very busy month for me, between being the one in charge of the Iron Flame Midnight release party at my store, which was fantastic, by the way. It went off really, really well. Everyone had a great time. I got a lot of really good feedback for it, so very happy and grateful for that. But that took a lot of work for me. It took a lot of time, and also with Black Friday and the Thanksgiving weekend and all that stuff with work, I had a very, very busy work month. It was very work heavy for me. Because of that, I was reading slower, just not enough time, or not a lot of time. And so I only have 5 books to share with you today, and one of them is a DNF. So it's fine. Everything's fine. But let's just get the big boys out of the way, right? These two were the main reads for me this month. I reread Fourth Wing. Yes, I did. I reread this. I wanted to reread it before jumping into Iron Flame, not because I didn't remember anything. I remembered just about everything. But I wanted to experience it again. And I wanted to tab it up, which I did. And I went ahead and just listened to it because I had recently, I read it over the summer, so it was still pretty fresh in my mind. But I had heard the audiobook was actually pretty good, and it was. I did enjoy the audio for sure. And then went into Iron Flame. And this one I read with my eyeballs. I have a whole reading vlog for this one up. It is spoiler free, so you can watch it without being spoiled for anything, but you definitely get my reaction at the end. And I just loved it. These were both obviously 5 stars. These are my favorites of the year, hands down. There's no competition. And I'm completely obsessed, unapologetically obsessed with these books. So, and also, got to meet Rebecca Yarros at the Iron Flame release party in Reston. She did a signing there. And I was very lucky to get to work that. I talked about that a little bit in my vlog, but I did get this one signed by her and personalized, and then also got my copy of Iron Flame signed as well. And she is the nicest of the nice. Like, why are you so nice? People. So, yeah, but very happy. My whole November just made my entire year with these books alone, and then getting to meet her and just the whole experience behind these books getting released and kind of being on a bookseller side of it was really special. So, yeah, but 5 stars, these two. And then another book that I finished, speaking of dragons, I started this book in October, and Buddy read it with my friend Jennifer, and started in October, finished in November just because of the sheer size of this book. So I read The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So this is a dragon book. It was initially going to be a standalone, but there is another book now in this world. It's not a direct sequel or anything. It's set before the events of this one, but it's set in the same world. And I definitely plan to read that one because I did really enjoy this one. I tabbed this one up as well. And this one spans different centuries. And there was a time when dragons were very prevalent and powerful in this world. That has changed since because of a big war that happened within the dragons. And there is one that was cursed and put under a sleep. However, he's starting to wake up and starting to gather an army. So he is becoming a threat to the humans in this world, and they're trying to figure out how they can defeat him. So that's what's happening. This was a slow burn. It wasn't super action-packed. There were quite a few battle scenes in here sprinkled throughout, but it wasn't just one after the other after the other. It took some time. We really, really got to know these characters, which I really appreciated because I ended up really loving them and caring about them and wanting, the best for them. And yeah, so it was really good, really good. I really liked it a lot. And I'm definitely going to read the other book in this series as well. But yeah, I really liked it. I did give it 4 stars because it was a slow burn. It took a while. I wasn't mad about that, but I could, there were some parts that, it could have been a little bit more, a little bit more interesting. But overall, I I really liked it a lot. And I did have someone recently ask me if I could explain what I tab in books. I've just kind of started tabbing things. And so the things that I choose to tab are things that make me laugh, big plot points that are important to the story, maybe things that change the narrative of things that are changing, big reveals are also a big one that I like to tab. Anything that makes me happy or just even sad, like if a character dies, I'll tab that part. Things that, lines that I really like where, like that was a great sentence or that's a great way to describe something and I'll tab it. So those are kind of things I'm looking for. And I did actually go back in Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, and I went back and I kind of looked at some things again that I had tabbed earlier. I was like, wait a minute. Does this tie back to this? Or is this the same person? Or is this person connected to this person? So I did actually go back and check some of my tabs a couple of times, which was nice. But that's what I'm tabbing. So it's kind of random. I don't color code anything. I pick a tab line and just use that as I'm reading. So yeah, no rhyme or reason to it really. Okay, and then the next book that I finished, I listened to this on audio, and I listened to Providence by Caroline Kepnes. There are 3 narrators for this one, so I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I get their names correct. So the narrators were McLeod Andrews, Emily Rankin, and Paul Michael. So those were the 3 narrators for this book. And this one is different than her Joe Goldberg You series for sure. I've read all of those, loved them. And I wanted to read this one because I want to read Her to Zero. I love her writing. I really do. And this was no different. I really love the writing in here. The story was interesting, but ultimately I think a little forgettable. Like I don't think this is going to be one that I remember for a really long time. It's not going to stick with me. It was fine. It was good when I was reading it. There were definitely some really good kind of action-y parts. So we're following a young boy who goes missing and how that affects his family, how it affects his best friend who is a girl. And, this occurrence changes everything for these people, obviously. He does end up coming back, and we kind of find out what happened to him when he was missing. And then we see mostly what happens afterwards. We're following him afterwards, and it's kind of over a different, quite a few years, and how things change with him. But there's definitely something different about him. And you see that, and he's trying to understand what it is. Everyone else is trying to understand what it is. There's a lot of things that are not being explained or that are not explainable. And so you kind of see them all navigate this whole thing. So it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good, not great for me. So I gave it 3 stars, but I've read Her to Zero now. So very happy about that. Okay. And the book that I DNF'd, which makes me really sad, is Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. I was not feeling this at all. And I feel bad because I was reading it on my Kindle. I have a copy from NetGalley as well as this one. And my friends picked it for me when we were in Phoenix because I was like, I just need a NetGalley book. I don't know what to pick. And I just could not for the life of me make up my mind. So I made them choose for me. And they chose this. And I'm not going to finish it. So I feel really bad. I started it on the plane ride home, actually, from Phoenix, and got a little bit into it, put it down for a while, and then tried to pick it back up, got a little bit more into it. I made it probably a quarter of the way through, and I was not feeling it. I didn't like the writing. I found myself questioning what characters were doing constantly because it didn't make sense. So this follows some women who are assassins. They've been assassins for a very long time. They are retiring, and they are on this kind of last hurrah cruise that the company that they worked for sent them on. However, they come to realize that they are now being targeted by the company to be assassinated. And when you find something out like that, they find that out, or they start to figure it out and piece things together. And then they're like, let's go back and take a nap. I'm like, why are you going back to your cabin to take a nap when you just found out that you're being hunted by people on the boat? That didn't make sense. And then as I was reading, some of the characters were having conversations and their tone would change mid-conversation to be completely opposite of what they were just, the tone that they just had. And I'm just like, what is going, it was just like kind of whiplash. And I don't know, I didn't appreciate it. So it wasn't for me, and that's okay. It's okay. So I'm not going to hang on to this one, but yeah, kind of a bummer because I was definitely excited to read this, but I wasn't feeling it. Okay, guys, that is it for me. 4 finished books, 1 DNF, and let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know how your November was. I'm really excited for December for reading. I definitely have a stack that I'm going to work on to finish out the year, try to finish up a couple goals, that kind of thing. So let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day.